All right, be seated, please. We are on the record. Counsel, the parties, and the jury are present. Folks, a few developments. As you know, juror number 5 is not here. She contacted us, and there were some urgent family things, and so we're excusing that juror, and we'll proceed with 8 jurors, which means none of you is going to be picked as an alternate. Also, juror number 3 asked to be able to sit somewhere else for some physical reasons. You are more than welcome to do that. You're welcome to stand, stretch. If you need to use one of the other chairs, let me hold on a sec. Civilian, these chairs have signs on them. That's not because they're broken, right? Yeah. All right. So, you know, those chairs have a little bit more flexibility. And so do what you need to do to be comfortable during the trial. And that goes for anybody if you need to stand and stretch. And I know it's hard to sit for a long time. So, all right, with that, we will resume our trial. Ms. Silvertanian, come back up on the witness stand.
But have seat.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were already sitting. Go ahead.
All right. So yesterday, we were kind of in the 2022 arena of events, but I'd like to take you back regarding the 2017 arrangement, the roommate agreement. You agreed to make payments on a loan, isn't that correct?
Yes.
All right. And then can she see the exhibit I have up? You see the exhibit there?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay. Do you know what this is?
This is a bank statement from when I withdrew money for my first payment to Zubair.
And do you have the date when that was taken?
This was taken out in late December 2017.
Would like to admit defendant's exhibit 3, Your Honor.
No objection. Defense 3 is admitted.
And ask that it be published to the jury. What was the amount that you took out?
$4,000.
And how much of that went to Zubair?
$3,500.
Okay. And then I've got another exhibit I need to get admitted, so take it. Do you see that?
Yes.
What are we looking at?
This is a bank statement from Discover in which I transferred $33,000 to Zubair.
And what was the date of that?
January 22, 2020.
Okay. And we'll keep this kind of an extended exhibit, so we'll look at the next item. What's that?
This is an email I got from my bank showing that I made a Zelle transfer to Zubair.
What's the date?
February 11, 2021.
Okay. And then the next item?
This was a few days later when I made another transfer over Zelle to Zubair. The first transfer was $500 and this one was $3,000, so $3,500.
And what's the date?
February 14, 2021.
Okay. And then the next item?
This is a statement from my bank ally in October 2021.
And what does it show?
Can you scroll down a little?
Sure. You tell me when
Mm-hmm.
you You've seen enough.
So this shows that I transferred in $5,000 to an account, and then $3,000 and another $1,600 was transferred out to Zubair's account.
Okay. And then next page. Sorry. What was the date of this transaction?
September 28, 2021.
Okay. And then next page.
Just going back to the other one, I saw that September 28 was when I put the money in, but when he took the money out was a different date.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to it. We're just trying to establish foundation that
Okay.
you know what this is, and then we'll look at it more in depth.
Oh, okay.
So what is this?
This is a statement from my bank at Ally from a shared account showing money coming in from me, $3,500, and then $3,500 going out to Zubair's account.
Okay. And I think we got one more page. Do you know what this is?
This is a statement from my bank from 2025, February 2025.
Okay. And we'd ask to admit Defendant's Exhibit 2, Your Honor.
No objection. Defendant 2 is admitted.
And we'll go to the top and have it published to the jury, please. Okay, so we have the discover, and you can see there the $3,000 deposit, ACH deposit. Is that what you're referring to as the transfer money to Zubair?
Yes.
Okay. And are any of these other transactions or deposits relevant?
No.
Okay. And you said the date of this was in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. And what did these transactions relate to? What were you trying to pay?
This is payments on the loan.
Okay. When you say the loan, what are you referring to specifically?
The 2017 promissory note.
Okay. And then just want to show the two Zelle transactions.
On the other one that we just skipped, or the other one we just did, the second page of it didn't get uploaded where the money went out.
Okay.
But that was, the money came in and then it went out. But so this one was your question was, when was it?
Well, what's this for?
This was another payment to Zubair.
And does his name appear on this?
Yes.
Okay. And the amounts total up to $3,500?
Yes.
And what were you paying him for here?
For the promissory note.
Okay. And the date was in 2021, is that correct?
Yes, February 2021.
Okay. And then same thing here, just explain to the jury what these transactions are for, please.
This was a transfer into a shared account from me, and then money went out to Zubair for my payment on the promissory note.
Okay. And that occurred in late 2021, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then same idea here, just explain to the jury what the transaction is.
This is a transfer in from me of $3,500 and transfer out to Zubair of that money as my payment on the promissory note in June 2022.
All right. I think we just have the last one. This is kind of a summary statement. What's being shown here? What do you see here?
If you go to the next page, you can see my payment to Zubair.
Well,
It looks like that didn't get uploaded either,
okay.
but I'm
You did have a history of paying the $3,500, and this statement. When was this statement dated?
February 2025.
Okay. So as recently as 2025, you're still paying the $3,500?
Yes, last year.
All right. All right. So next item, we take the exhibits down. Okay, so let's talk about 2022. We'll go back to 2022. We started to get into how your relationship with Zubair started to have a strain over the house. Can you explain to the jury what caused that strain on your end?
Well, the value of the property had increased, and he was claiming that he was entitled to that value because his name is on the paperwork to my house. And I reminded him that he promised me that the property would belong to me always, that it would remain mine, even though the name on the paperwork was changing. So to me, it felt like my best friend was trying to steal from me and that he was breaking his promise.
Did you guys have any text messages regarding that issue?
Yes.
Were there any other issues that came up with respect to him asserting ownership over the house?
Yes. In February 2023, he sent this text message to me. He told me that he had hired someone to do work on my house that I did not want done, and I told him to cancel it. He refused, and I told him it's not his place to schedule unauthorized repairs on my property.
Okay. Before we go much further, we'll go ahead and ask. I'm showing you defendants 6. Do you recognize these text messages?
Yes.
And what are they?
This is when Zubair claimed that he's the owner of my property.
Okay. We'd move to admit defendant 6, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Defense 6 is admitted.
Can we publish, please? All right. The blue text, the dark blue text, I guess it's blue and light blue. The dark blue text, whose text is that?
Me.
And the light blue, whose is that?
Zubair.
The name up here is Zuby. Is that what you had him in your phone as?
Yes, that's what I called him a lot of the time.
Okay. And just going through the text, it says, do not touch anything that belongs to me, including the garage door or the garage door opener. What did you mean by do not touch anything that belongs to me?
Just that. I did not want him to touch my stuff. He had moved things in my garage, and I didn't want him to. I told him, don't touch my stuff.
And he states, I moved the items so a repairman could examine my garage door. He will be over between 9 and 11 tomorrow to repair it. And then you stated, I did not approve any such repair. I do not want someone coming. What was your reaction to him saying my garage door?
I was very shocked. He had never said anything like that before, that that he was the owner of the property.
So this was the first time he asserted that sort of ownership?
Yes, he had reminded me during our negotiations, like, hey, my name is on the deed. We have to figure this out. But he had never said before, this is my house, until this day.
And then he states, you do not need to approve or do anything. I will be there in the morning to supervise and pay for the repair. Your response was, it is not your place to pay for unauthorized repairs on my property. Cancel it. He states, not happening. Right now, that is my house. The broken door is a safety concern. Sorry. And I am giving you notice of when it will be fixed. So now we're on the second column of text messages. And then what was your reaction when he said that it was my house?
I started crying immediately. I didn't think he would ever do this to me, to use his position of trust to steal my house. But that's what was happening here.
Was this, I'm sorry, did this text exchange happen before or after the graph paper affirmation?
This was a couple months after that.
Okay. Your response, it is my house, it has always been my house. Was that consistent with your understanding of the ownership arrangement?
Yes, that's what my understanding has always been.
And then you said, it's not a safety concern. You do not get to decide what happens to my house. And then you asked him, have you moved out yet? Had you guys talked about moving out?
Yes, in December, when I was looking at my Merrill Lynch statements, I saw that he had done an unauthorized loan in my account. In the summertime, he told me he wanted to do this margin loan, and I told him no. I told him absolutely not, and we agreed that the investing decisions would be mutual, that I would approve every decision before. After I told him no, he dropped it. But then a few months later, he did it anyway without telling me, and he didn't tell me afterwards either. I only found out from reading the statements, and I was really shocked. I confronted him about it over text message. And I told him I wanted him to move out.
And his response here was, I am not moving out of my house. I'm letting you stay there currently as a courtesy. Were you surprised to see that?
I was surprised to see that. He did agree to move out. I told him to move out by the end of January because I originally told him to move out at the end of January, but then I extended it to the end of February because I was going on a trip, and I figured he can take care of my dogs, and I would give him more time to find somewhere else to live. And he had agreed to that. But then he turned around and said that it's his house and that he's not moving out of his house.
And just to
He
go ahead.
The second line of that text actually shook me even more. He said that I'm letting you stay there currently as a courtesy, and the way I interpreted that was like the man who just stole my house told me that my living situation depends on his courtesy, and I did not see any courtesy in that. So my understanding was unless I gave him all the money that he wanted, he would evict me. I looked up how an eviction works. I saw that it only takes 10 days. So that really freaked me out.
So you were scared?
I was terrified.
So what did you do then?
I moved out.
Where did you move to?
I moved to a house that's like half a mile away.
Okay. When you see these text messages, how is that consistent with this agreement that you and Zubair signed just a few months before?
It's not consistent with this agreement at all.
Okay.
I felt very betrayed by him.
So after you moved out, did Zubair do anything else that you think was inconsistent with this agreement?
Yes, he took $115,000 out of the property.
Did he talk to you about that first?
No,
I'm going to show you Defendants 5, which was admitted yesterday. Have you ever seen this document?
yes.
You know what this is?
This is the deed for when he got $115,000 second mortgage on my house.
You see the address of the mothership there?
Yes.
Yeah. Scroll down, see if we can find the amount. Okay. And the amount there at the top.
$115,000.
And the date was dated June 14th, 2023.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever sign any document approving this deed of trust?
No, I had no idea this happened until like a month later when my lawyers found out.
Did you tell the lender that you were the true owner of the property when Zubair was applying for this loan?
No, I had no idea he was applying for this loan.
Do you know if he provided that information to the lender?
He testified that he did not.
Okay. Do you think that, well, never mind. Let's, all right, so let's go back to 2016, 2017. Did Zubair ever mention anything about cooking the books to you?
Yeah, he told me that he learned about someone at his job cooking the books, which is like when you fake financial documents. And he saw it as like a good thing, like it was clever.
What's your understanding of cooking the books?
That it's fraud.
Okay. At a certain point, you became aware of an FBI investigation. Did you participate in that investigation?
I was interviewed by the investigator, but before that, Zubair told me about what was going on, and he was panicking. He was saying that he was afraid of getting deported, and I asked him why, and he said, because the original oral agreement to secretly trade his money, he said that was securities fraud and that's a felony, and that if it's over $100,000, it's mandatory prison. And he said that if I say anything to the FBI investigator about our original oral agreement, that we would both be on the line for a felony, and what would we do, or what would the dogs do if we were both in prison. So I did not mention the original oral agreement to the FBI.
Okay. Did you mention any agreement to the FBI?
Yes, I told them about the residence agreement.
How long had that agreement been in effect when you spoke to the FBI?
A couple months.
Okay. Did you at any point feel like you were being deceptive or lying to the FBI?
I feel like I lied by omission. They did not directly ask me, like, did this money ever have a different purpose? But I felt like I was lying to them by withholding that information.
Was it your understanding that you entered the residence agreement to protect Zubair from this investigation?
No.
What was your understanding of the purpose behind that residence agreement?
Well, I had fears that it might be illegal. This was months prior. And we changed our agreement so that we weren't doing an illegal scheme anymore.
Okay. How did that affect your later contract, the roommate agreement?
Well, when he was talking about cooking the books, he said, like, we're doing that with the residence agreement. And I said, no, we're not. I said, we agreed to do a new deal to make this legal. We did not agree to cook the books. And so when it came time to make a new agreement, I wanted to make sure that Zubair understood that this agreement was going to be the agreement. So that's why I wanted to include that clause that said,
let me pull it up just a second. So when you say that clause, are you referring to the supersedes clause,
yes,
the integration clause?
yes,
Is this what you're referring to?
yes.
Go on.
So I wanted him to understand, and we talked about this, and both of us understood that this was our agreement and our only agreement. And the way that I framed it at the time was that this clause was about the past and the termination clause was about the future. So this clause means that anything we've talked about in the past no longer applies, because it says that no other, or it says that this agreement supersedes all prior agreements, and all other agreements will have no further force or effect. So this covered the past. And then I told him for the future, if he wanted to change our agreement, then the termination clause covers that. And if we're going to change our agreement in the future, we first have to terminate this agreement by the terms, which is a 90-day written notice.
Okay. And this roommate agreement affected the arrangement related to the $94,000.
Yes.
Did you ever refer to that as like the pile or our money after this agreement?
Yes. We talked about a lot of different hypotheticals throughout the years, and sometimes I would refer to my money as the pile,